Good afternoon. We'll call this budget and legislative hearing to order. In our first panel, the committee will receive the remaining testimony on the President's FY2020 budget request for Indian programs from the Department of Justice. Last week, we heard from 2 witnesses from the administration and 2 tribal leaders representing national tribal organizations on the President's fiscal year 2020 budget request for Indian programs. The DOJ budget includes funding to address their priorities of reducing and preventing violent crimes and promoting public safety, increasing officer safety and wellness, and reducing school violence and improving the juvenile justice system, as well as combating the opioid abuse epidemic and supporting victims of crime. Through its offices and programs, the DOJ provides public safety and law enforcement resources to Indian tribes across the country. No matter how small or large a tribe is, the DOJ provides support and resources to nearly 200 Indian reservations. For FY2020, the President has continued the support for sustained or increased funding for the Indian programs. We see this in the request for the tribal set-aside in the annual allocation from the Crime Victims Fund. This will be the 3rd year that the tribal set-aside has been included in the budget request. 196 applications were received for Phase 1 solicitation by Indian tribes applying for FY 2018 CVF grant funding. The DOJ is currently working on the FY 2019 funding, and I look forward to hearing how this grant funding is getting out the door to assist victims in Indian country. From the DOJ witness today, I hope we can hear how programs and its funding are working efficiently. If a program is not functioning, now is the time to discuss how the committee can be helpful. On April 11, I introduced the Addressing Underdeveloped and Tribally Operated Streets Act, or AUTOS Act, with Senators Kramer and McSally. Approximately 147 miles of roads and 930 bridges are located throughout Indian country. These roads and highways are the lifeline of their communities. However, many of these roads and bridges are in dire need of repair and improvement. According to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, there is at least a $280 million backlog of deferred maintenance of BIA roads, and 17% of the BIA roads are considered to be, and only 17% of the BIA roads are considered to be in acceptable condition. The conditions of these roads may be a reason why motor vehicle crashes are a leading cause of unintentional injury and death for American Indians and Alaska Natives. S.1211 would provide additional resources and tools at the Department of Transportation and the Bureau of Indian Affairs so that tribes can maintain, repair, or replace damaged roads or bridges. Specifically, this bill would permit traffic safety projects that are identified by the Secretary of the Interior to be eligible for categorical exclusion. Similar categorical exclusions are permitted by the Department of Transportation. Authorize $46 million for the Bureau of Indian Affairs Road Maintenance Program with increases of $2 million per year. Reinstate the Tribal Transportation Bridge Program as a standalone program instead of a 2% carve-out in the Tribal Transportation Program. Direct the Secretaries of the Interior and Transportation to work with Indian tribes in developing a standard and uniform crash report form. Direct BI law enforcement to use one standard crash report form, and increase funding available for the Tribal Safety Transportation Program Safety Fund from 2% to 4%. Before we hear from the witnesses, I want to turn to Vice Chairman Udall for his opening statement.